Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Richard Riakporhe stops Krzysztof Glowacki in the 4th round of their fight. Now this was billed as a step up for Richard Riakporhe, however the truth be known, Richard Riakporhe had harder fights at domestic level against the likes of Sam Hyde, Chris Billum-Smith, Jack Massey, etc. This fight really was a walk in the park for Richard Riakporhe. Krzysztof Glowacki, in my estimation, obviously back in the day was a really good former cruiserweight champion, of course. But these days, man, I think the ambition has gone. Seems to be really kind of turning up for paychecks, not really there to cause any real issues. He'll turn up, he'll see what he can do, but he's not really about it anymore. He's not there to rattle any cages, and yeah, that's the impression I got from him in this fight. First round, not much happened really. Riakporhe, of course, the taller, longer man, out of that southpaw stance. He was prodding and probing with his jab, taking the half step back, seeing what was in front of him. Glowacki was doing the same thing out of a southpaw stance, just prodding and probing with his jab. Occasionally he'd try to throw that lead hook out of that southpaw stance, trying to get around Riakporhe's guard. There was an occasion where he put together a combination, but it was blocked by Riakporhe. And yeah, first round was what it was. Second round started the same. Glowacki landed a couple of cuffing rights, nothing of any consequence. He was then caught with a right hand, which rocked him. Riakporhe hurt him near the ropes. I actually thought it was a knockdown. It looked like Glowacki's gloves touched the canvas. Though I haven't seen a replay, so I could be wrong, but Glowacki was hurt, and he was hurt again shortly after with another right hand, though that right hand was partially blocked. But Glowacki got through it. He threw a couple of shots back, landed a couple of good southpaw left hands to the body. He tried to throw back and he survived the round. Round 3, once again a bit of a boxing match, Riakporhe getting the better of it. He was the guy who in my opinion was maintaining the range a lot better. You know, he was finding the target with his jab, wasn't really letting go of his right hand too much. It was like he was trying to line up the perfect shot. He threw it a couple of times and caught Glowacki, but nothing really happened. Glowacki was kind of leaning back, taking the power out of that shot. But, you know, once again, Riakporhe in control, never really made to work or anything like that. There was the occasion where Glowacki would load up with a right hook and miss, but again, I reiterate, a lack of ambition from Glowacki. And round 4 was where the fight ended. Glowacki was caught with a right hand near the corner, which rocked him backwards. Definitely hurt. Riakporhe then opened up. Some shots were partially landed as Glowacki was in the corner. A couple of shots got around the side. And yeah, he was catching some shots. He was hurt. And Howard Foster then jumps in and stops the fight. Quite frankly, I mean, I think it was Matthew Macklin. He called it a good stoppage. I felt it was a pretty bad stoppage, to be honest. I felt this fight should have been, let on to go longer, but it was what it was. I mean, I say that, but Glowacki never really fought with that ambition to make me believe that he was competitive in this fight. So it was what it was, man. I'm not gonna be too upset about it. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, can't really read. You can't really read too much into it because it was quite routine for Richard Riakporhe. He really wasn't tested in this fight, but I guess he did what he needed to do against like an old veteran like Glowacki. But we'll see where he goes next. After the fight, he called out all the cruiserweight champions: Ilunga Makabu, Arslan Gulamarian, Lawrence Okoli, Jay Opataya. He called out all the champions. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing any one of those fights. I actually think Riakporhe would beat Ilunga Makabu. I think he's too big. I believe he'll knock out Makabu. Gulamarian would be a very interesting fight. I'd pick Okoli to beat. Richard Riakporhe. As for Jay Opataya, I mean, he's coming off a real hard fight with Maris Briedis back last summer, and he actually suffered a couple of jaw fractures in that fight, so we'll see how he looks on his return, but I'd probably lean towards Opataya against Riakporhe, but Riakporhe is certainly live in the cruiserweight division. I think his power is somewhat real, hits hard from with that right hand, and yeah, he'll make for an interesting opponent in my opinion. But again, I think he beats Makabu. I think he's got a shot against Gulamarian. I'd make him an underdog against Opataya, but he's got a shot. I think Akole is the only one who I would be super confident in beating Riakporhe, but you know, we'll see what happens with his career going forwards. And yeah, share your thoughts below. What did you make of his performance? It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.